Welcome to the debate. Today, we're digging into the strategic side of roster construction, specifically what the Cubs are doing with their bullpen. They seem to be prioritizing geometric variation over just pure velocity.
Right.
So the central question we're tackling is this. Is manufacturing bullpen edges through these extreme arm angles, this disruption, a sustainable, maybe even superior approach, or is it just a risky compromise because the market is too hot? I'm going to argue this is a necessary and, frankly, brilliant strategic adaptation.
And I'll be arguing that you can't just manufacture a high-leverage arm out of thin air in geometry. It's a nice idea, but it's not a replacement for proven talent.
Well, look, the Cubs' recent moves, they're a clear statement of philosophy. You acquire Caleb Fielbar, who throws from an extreme, over-the-top 56-degree vertical angle. And then you get Hobie Milner, who has the lowest arm slot in the game at -6 degrees. That's a 62-degree difference. It's the greatest variation between two lefties in the majors. This is pure release point arbitrage. You know, reliever prices are soaring, we all see it, so success has to be manufactured through deception. I mean, this is an analytically optimized and, more importantly, a cost-effective foundation to build on.
Okay, I respect the approach. I really do. But I think it fundamentally misreads the front office's own stated objective. The philosophy of variation is smart, but the source material explicitly says the critical next step is adding at least one more high-leverage arm.
Sure, but
So geometry and deception. They're supplements. They're not replacements for elite, proven ability in the 8th or 9th inning. If the front office fails to get that anchor, this whole calculated risk leaves the bullpen completely reliant on nuance, when what you really need is pure, high-octane execution. It's an interesting experiment, but it's not a complete bullpen yet.
That's a fair point, though I'd frame it a bit differently. This whole philosophy of, optimizing release points, it's gaining sharper focus league-wide. It's not some wild experiment. The Rays have been doing this kind of thing for years, and it's worked for them. This is a proven strategic way to manufacture wins when you decide you're just not going to buy elite velocity on the open market. We're not relying on nuance here, we are relying on analytical certainty.
Okay, but what does that certainty get you?
It breaks the hitter's visual tunnel. When a batter has to get ready for a pitch coming from a stadium lights and another one coming from the dirt, it forces this huge vertical adjustment in a fraction of a second. Analytically, that is proven to reduce hard contact. It just is.
I understand the mechanism, but you're equating an interesting mechanism with reliability under pressure. I mean, while the variance is intriguing, it just emphasizes a lack of decisiveness in the actual high-leverage market. And you say this is a response to soaring prices, but the market is, it's booming for reclamation guys on short-term deals.
It's a volatile market.
It is, but look at Michael Soroka. He just took $7.5 million for 1 year to prove himself. Ha-Seong Kim turned down a huge extension for a $20 million prove-it deal. The point is that high-value, high-upside talent is available. The Cubs are choosing to wait, betting this geometric disruption can cover the gap. They're manufacturing an edge when they could just be acquiring proven ability.
See, I don't think that reasoning holds up because the strategy is precisely to avoid competing in that reclamation market. That market is, as you said, volatile, it's high risk. This is disciplined resource allocation. It lets the team manufacture edges without being held hostage by market pressures. And, you assume that critical next step has to be some expensive, established closer. But what if this geometric foundation actually lowers the bar for that high leverage arm? The goal might not be an elite 9th inning guy. It might just be maximizing platoon advantages against key hitters in the division.
That's a compelling theory, I'll give you that. But the evidence still points to this being a strategy of calculated patience, not a completed plan. High leverage is defined by execution under pressure, and while sequencing arm angles is a great advantage on paper, there's just no substitute for a pitcher who can execute in the 9th. By waiting, they risk burning out this interesting bullpen foundation before the real anchor even arrives. It's smart, but it's still a gamble.
So for me, this is a sophisticated, data-driven approach to allocating resources. It creates a disruptive, analytically optimized foundation that is perfectly adapted to the realities of the current market.
And for me, it remains an incomplete strategy that's still waiting for its most critical piece: proven ability. Both of these paths, whether focusing on market timing or geometric optimization, they really offer different ways to build a team and deepen our understanding of modern roster construction.